Welcome to Econ Unplugged. I'm Tanisha.
I'm Trisha.
I'm Sia.
And I'm Hannah.
Four friends who get together to talk about what's going on in the economy and why it matters. No buzzwords, no lecture, just a straight up conversation. Today we're talking about the gender wage gap. So, the main problem women face is the parenting trap, where they either have to leave for 9 months during pregnancy or leave to take care of the children during a certain age.
Yeah, so I think there's two aspects that are very important in this. One is that when women decide to have children, the maternity leave that they take is expected to be paid. Now, when we look at the US, they have completely stopped paying women during their maternity leave. And even once they have kids, they are not completely able to focus on their jobs because somewhere their mind is focused on taking care of their children, so they probably even cut down hours.
Okay, see, I was saying basically, a lot of women while what Hannah's point was that their mind is somewhere and they do cut hours, so they don't do really overtime work as compared to men. So that does some people do reduce their opportunities due to that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they also feel like the employers, they feel like it's not they're not worthy of the extra pay that we're giving them, so they somewhere cut down wages, where comes the concept of equal pay for equal work. They're not doing as many hours as they're expecting to get paid.
In some ways, it's justified because women do have to reach home to make the food. They do have to reach home to take care of the kids' homework. So, employers are worried about that, and they would rather have a man doing it who can stay
Right.
long hours, where women don't feel safe to stay.
So somewhere the issue lies where women have been assigned that this is your priority is your household and not your own personal career.
Yeah.
So that's basically the root cause.
And a very important factor in this is that women decide to have kids, or the biological clock thing.
Yeah.
That comes at a time where women are supposed to expand the most, grow the most, take up seniority job
Yeah.
levels. So that is where it slows them down 2 times more, because they're taking care of their kids, as well as this has come at a time where they could grow the most in their
Yeah.
careers.
They're also pressurized by just societal stigma, where the mother of the groom wants to have the grandchildren at the right time, for society to keep asking them, when will you have kids, when will that happen.
Yeah.
So and also societal stigma about the man cannot cook the dinner, the man cannot plan for the dinner, where women have to do it. They
Yeah.
have to take care of the house, they have to take care of the old in-laws. So that's also a problem that comes.
That's
Yeah.
a responsibility that's just put on them.
Yeah. So another aspect of equal pay, equal hour that Hannah talked about is some women don't. Women don't choose to work for certain jobs like rickshawala or working in construction.
Yeah.
So, to what extent do you think that is justified in terms of equal pay and equal hour?
See, for me, what I think is the reason why women, you don't find them doing jobs like rickshawala, taxi drivers, it's because it's a obstruction to their own safety. You wouldn't want to put yourself, as a woman, you want to put yourself in a situation where you're driving random strangers to their houses or to a random spot, because then it's just harming your own safety.
And even jobs where there's construction and stuff, you can't compare women and men in these jobs, because these require physical manpower, and
Yeah.
So
women
at-
and men are not comparable in that aspect.
Yeah, so at the base, physically, women and men are different. When we talk about equal pay, we mean intellectual equal pay, where examples such as lawyers and doctors are equal.
Yeah.
So today in India, only 15.3% people or population of women are actually lawyers, and even doctors, and globally the ratio is 7:1 in lawyers for men to women. So we talk about equality in these spaces and these jobs.
Because these are more technical jobs.
Technical jobs where women can get
Yeah.
they're allowed to get these educations.
And women are heavily underrepresented in STEM as well, like science, engineering. You will find the ratio is really, in India it's 6.3:1, female to male to female ratio in women working in engineering.
Yeah, so I have an example actually of Sudha Murthy. So she when she was pursuing her masters, while like she was looking for a job, and she saw for Tata companies there was only a job open for male candidates, and she was really angered by this because there's no opportunity for her, even though she was as qualified as any other man.
Yeah.
So that's when she wrote a letter to JRD Tata, and got a job as an engineer in Telco.
Yeah. So it was labeled as a male job.
Yeah, it was written
Yeah.
specifically for male candidates.
And during her time, women having a job was a
Yeah, it
very
was a
big
really-
different.
It was like just that time period, I think,
Yeah.
where it all,
I think if you see
grew from.
most people, like their grandparents, most of their grandmothers, they did not have a job
Yeah.
at the time.
She was the only female in her engineering college, which is why she had to travel miles to find like a female toilet.
Yeah. That's
Oh.
true.
Yeah.
There are a lot of examples of this, like worldwide.
Yeah.
So like even in the early 60s, it was somewhat legal for them to actually discriminate against women, because they believed that women are only suitable for like repetitive jobs rather than like the more technical and quantitative jobs are given to the men, because they believe that the women, again, it's the same agenda that women belong at home, men belong at the workplace.
Somewhere it has continued today as well, where women seeing their older generations think or are persuaded to join only commerce or arts fields and
that's-
streams.
That mindset is like put into them, like growing up from
Yeah,
childhood.
like
You
career
see-
takes the
yeah.
backseat, and it's more like I don't have to study because I'm gonna get married.
Or even like the careers that they pick are more art oriented, or like there was this example where in like the early 60s and 70s, women were picked for like jobs that required like the intricate sewing and stuff,
Yeah.
whereas the brainstorming and the entrepreneur part is all like given to the men. It's women are not even considered, like
Yeah.
So basically, they're just told what to do, and then
Exactly.
the
Yeah.
innovation part is done by the men.
like having a full-fledged career is for men. Women can like help, but it's mostly for men. That is the mentality.
So today that has improved a lot, where
Yeah.
women are in entrepreneurship positions, but the ratio that it should be is still very less.
Mhm.
There.
If we compare India to like any other developed nation, we still have a long way to go, because
Yeah.
for us, even starting of women empowerment was not
Yeah.
until 10 years ago.
The
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
Beti Bachao Beti Padhao campaign that was I think 2015 it was launched. It just started taking effect, right? So we are very behind on how.
But it's also like, because if you look at the demographic, like India, it has such a huge population. Like it's the most populated now.
Yeah, the population and the income inequality is so much that
Yeah.
there is a large part of lower middle class people where even if there are siblings of a boy and a girl in a household, the boy is
Treated
projected
much better,
to have a better education. All the investment is done on him and his education to
the
become a
girls,
doctor.
I
and
feel
all.
like they're giving the mentality to like
From a
do
very young
housework,
age.
Yeah.
do
They-
housework and like everything, basically prepare to
Clean,
get
yeah.
married and all.
Even househelp today is majority women. It's
Yeah.
against for men to do household help or house
Yeah.
chores and get paid for it.
It's looked down upon. That's why.
Yeah.
Even hospitals, you see you'll see a majority of female nurses over male
Yeah.
nurses.
But even in our own settings, like our own social settings, like even in our school, like all the didis or helping staff, they're mostly
Yeah, exactly.
they're all women.
Women, yeah, because these people don't get other jobs. They're not educated
Yeah.
to get other jobs. Where education is only compulsory till 14. In a family where there's a boy and a girl, the boy will be encouraged to study further.
Yeah,
or,
for the secondary.
yeah,
secondary
work for better
education.
jobs.
So I think that also limits a lot of opportunities for them.
Yes.
But I think also occupational segregation is a big thing, where women tend to work in jobs that are low paid,
Less demanding.
less demanding,
So
Like-
like according to that, their salary is also low.
more service oriented
Hmm.
jobs. So like they don't, again, the STEM part, like where you are in a position, high paid lawyer or a high paid doctor, we see women not even, they think that they're inferior, hence they don't even try to take up those opportunities.
There's a lot of backward families still in India, like villages or even
Rural
slums
areas,
in
yeah.
India. They are so they don't think that they are willing or able to do the same job as men, which doesn't give them the inspiration or encouragement to even
Yeah.
try, which is something that needs to change a lot.
Yeah,
But this
I
is the
think-
case for everywhere except like the metropolitan areas, like Delhi, Bangalore, Mumbai. Everywhere else, it's like just
Yeah.
it's a rural
We-
area, it's like the same mentality.
Yeah.
I don't think like people realize how much of like rural and how backward we are.
Yeah, out of 28 states in India, only 4 to 5 are metropolitan, or rest of the states are still living under poverty, still living under the lower income wage. So recently, USA implemented a policy where they're not getting maternity leave. So in this situation, would a employer not hire women at all because they have to get these paid leaves and they have to have these restrictions, or women don't get a paid maternity leave, but so that they're still considered for the job, like it's a lesser loss for the firm, so that they are more encouraged to actually hire women. In which way do you think it is a pro or a con for women?
So I think this thing is pretty justified in terms of firms and the government, because
Yeah,
like if you're
technically.
not working in that period, then there is no point of paying you, because then again, what is the point of saying equal pay for equal work when you're not even working utna?
That's fair.
So like I think it's fair on the part of the firms and stuff.
But also, if you think about it, maternity will happen not only once in a woman's life, right? It at
Mhm.
least happens 2 times or 3 times. So if you consider all of that time, women, if firms still have to pay them for such a long time, they would rather just hire a man.
True. So I feel like it's contradicting, because one side women are like, we want equal pay, we want equal like we want to be
Equal
treated
rights,
equal
yeah.
as men, but at the same time you are not capable, but in some aspects you cannot deliver those many working hours.
Yeah. Then also comes this question of women who are not married yet and are working. So women in the ages of 20 to 30, they are working, but they eventually plan to leave the job because of pressure from the groom's side of family. So they're still thinking about this, right? Like a woman in her a woman who is 28 years old will eventually leave the job in 2 to 3 years, because that's still a concern. So firms do not choose to hire
Even like newlyweds, they don't choose to hire
Yeah.
because they expect like the woman will get pregnant.
the woman will have
Eventually have
more
a child,
responsibilities to take care.
But then it could also be like from the women's side, they're under delivering. Like basically, like because they know that they are not going to be able to work for very long, they don't want to devote that much time and energy to something that it's not going to expand in the long run.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe it's like their own this also.
But in this situation, for the woman and man in a family to grow together, both need to contribute to household work. So
Yeah.
that area is handled by both, and both can grow at a simultaneous rate instead of the man focuses all
Dumping
his
the
work.
work on you.
Yeah, like it's segregated into 2 different areas. Both are collaborating and handling the household to do the work together.
But I think majority men like they don't handle housework because they are not taught that. Like, I think women they are taught that from a young age, but guys are not expected to do that.
Even when the parenting trap, when bringing up a child, a woman is expected to like come down on her career like 2 times,
Exactly, yeah.
whereas men are expected to expand and grow right after like they become dads. So it's also like a big misconception that parenting is only for the initial 4 to 5 years of the child's development, whereas it's a long
Long-term,
process,
yeah.
whereas you even need to help throughout the adolescence.
Yeah.
So that is where men also need to start taking initiative in
Yeah.
bringing up the child. It's not the sole responsibility of the woman.
Even like it's considered that during the 9 months or during the first 2 years, it's only a woman's responsibility, where the woman has to do more work, she has to stay up at night, which also deters her from doing her job or having the equal pay, equal hours argument. But there are initiatives of even dads getting paternity leave. I don't know if you've heard of that.
Yeah.
So if that also starts, women can join back earlier or take care of herself
The
better.
burden is like
Yeah, the burden
lesser.
is lesser, right? So when both of them, when everyone works towards the same goal, it becomes easier for everyone, right?
But
Yeah.
is paternity, is it there in India?
Yeah,
Mm.
it exists.
Is
It's
it
not
paid?
compulsory, but people at higher positions are more allowed to
Is it
take
a paid leave or is it?
I'm not so sure. Yeah. Since it's not compulsory, I don't think it's a paid leave. But that's the same argument with women where maternity leave should not be paid.
Yeah. So there was a social experiment conducted wherein transgender people were sent in for job interviews. Once they interviewed as men and then the other time as women, and they realized that the salary for the same job position that they were interviewing for was different in both. Like it was relatively higher for men that they suggested and negotiated, whereas for women. And there was another case study where they
Wait,
found
Hannah, but like the way they gave the interview, was it the same? Or like did they subconsciously perform better as men?
no.
So it's the same quality of the interview.
Yeah, it's the same quality. They
Same
are
setting.
interviewing for the same position, the same skill set.
Okay.
Okay, everything equal except for like he was a man,
Okay.
she was a woman. And there was another case study that showed that women asked for less wages during their interview, but they deserve much more. So they somewhere they feel like they don't even deserve that kind of pay.
Yeah,
So
I
they are
think-
they don't even negotiate effectively.
They feel like they have low bargaining power.
Yeah.
because, yeah.
Yeah. So in terms of low bargaining power, women, even MBAs, men. So in a couple, a man after education, after the first 2-3 years of job, a man will be more encouraged to do the MBA instead of a woman. So in a sport where both need an MBA to work better in corporate jobs,
Progress, yeah.
so due to financial constraint, only one person can do it, and a man will do it, which also puts the woman back by a lot, where she doesn't have as much experience or education background, right? So, yeah, that is also a concern. Just education background or experience in the job industry.
So this ties in again with like how women are just, they're not encouraged to pursue further education, to grow
Exactly,
further.
yeah. Mhm.
It's like how much you do, like stay with
That's
it.
Yeah,
enough
yeah.
because
Hmm.
anyways you need to take care of kids. Anyways
Yeah.
you need to take care of the house. So now we can start talking about how it will affect us. When we try to get jobs after our education, after universities, will there be a similar wage gap? Will we also have to fight for equal pay? Will we have to face safety concerns in job positions?
I think like it will really be improved by the time we entered like the job markets because because like I think after like the campaigns and everything I think we are developing slowly but it is happening.
But so like even our generation is called like one of the most forward generations. Like we've, even with technology, we've taken
Yeah.
it so far. So I think we're in good hands.
You'll actually see many women in the IT sector. Like the
Exactly,
ratio
yeah.
is very balanced.
It's bad. Oh no, yeah. My sister, she's doing like an engineering degree. So even in a college, the ratio is like 5:1 or 4:1. So in India, you'd see this that when women are applying for university for STEM degrees, they have to first consider the ratio because like even their safety then ties in. So then they hesitate to join a course
Yeah.
which is like more technical.
So, with the rise of social media and looking at how things are going on in other countries, collaborating with other women, protests we see online in other countries, it gives us inspiration, it gives us encouragement.
I feel like women even in like the rural areas now they have access to social media so they know that they have the
Yeah.
opportunity to like
If you can see women at higher positions like Sudha Murthy who makes books, interviews,
she's an
podcasts,
engineer as well.
yeah, inspiring other small children.
Yeah.
Basically, I was saying that there are a lot of women who are like entrepreneurs now. So that like shows like
Yeah.
younger women that there are like opportunities.
Yeah, actually,
for them.
social media, it's actually improving.
Hmm.
Because
Hmm.
you see, when you're scrolling through reels also, that there are a lot of women who are giving courses on how to,
Hmm.
how to make sales, how to, put yourself out there, how to grow a business. And there is so much financial advice given online these days that it's so accessible now.
Yeah, it's accessible now. Also, social media in itself has become a very big income stream, right, for
Yeah.
women.
Influencers.
Where they can have these jobs at home with with their kids, with their families.
Yeah, actually, there's a lot of rise after lockdown also. There was like work from home. There was a lot of rise.
Yeah, work from
So,
home.
like, I mean, I do know people who have like children and they do work from home. So that way they're still able to like have a stable career while
Yeah.
managing a child.
So even when it comes to like women empowering and uplifting each other, it's not just inspiring each other to grow and do better, but also about coming out and talking about topics such as sexual harassment. Like you'll see so many women openly going and filing FIRs and cases now because we've seen other women in like other positions do it.
Also,
But-
social media has helped that
Yeah.
come out more and become
Yeah.
more normal to actually file an FIR. Where
But I feel like again the parity comes in where it's more common for them to actually file and speak up about it in like more metropolitan areas.
So
Yeah.
true.
But
Yeah.
in rural areas where it's kind of
Tabooed.
tabooed,
Yeah.
that they don't really open up about it. They don't
Yeah.
speak about it.
And men in senior positions also think that it is okay to blackmail women into having an unprofessional relationship with them in exchange for higher wages.
Yeah, and I think women just go with it because they feel helpless. Like they feel like that's the only way to grow in their career, or that's usually why.
It could also come in ki they are, because they have to prove that they can actually get far with a career to their family who may not be very supportive of them having a career. They need to prove themselves, so they
Exactly,
kind of
yeah.
agree to it.
also
to have
getting
a higher
another
wage.
job is a problem for women. Like
yeah,
true.
having that gap in their professional career
Many are
becomes a
like,
negative.
yeah, many are like unfairly like made redundant because of
Yeah,
of this.
these-
Yeah.
Where there is still in India there is still a culture of the woman is always the bad person, or it was the woman's
Exactly. It's
fault.
always the blame is always
Yeah.
put on the woman.
That kind of stops them from coming out and
Yeah.
putting.
But
filing
social
those
media is
FIRs.
improving that a lot in today's generation, and by the time we are in that position, we will have a lot more control. And
Yeah.
so to summarize our talk today about gender wage gap, we talked about how the women are affected by the parental trap, where they have to take care of their children or be out of work for 9 months due to pregnancy, or take care of the household chores. We also talked about education gap, where women are not encouraged or inspired or forced to have a higher education. We also talked about lower income households support males more than women, the societal stigma of women doing more household work, and how it can be solved by men contributing to it and having equal jobs. Also, the occupational segregation of men's jobs and women's jobs, where women do only certain jobs and men are labeled to do certain jobs, which are usually highly paid. So we also talked about the aspect of safety, where women don't feel safe in certain situations, so are not willing to work in those job areas, which reduces their opportunities and just their ability to work.
Yeah.
That's all from Econ Unplugged. We'll plug back in next week.
Bye
Thank you.
bye.
Bye.